All right, so it's Sunday, February 1st. Big night tonight, actually. Grammys night. Biggest night in
Grammys
music.
night.
Is that what they say?
Think so. I think that's the marketing slogan.
Okay, yeah. I should have studied up on that. All right, welcome back to Check Your Ears. It's February 1st, Sunday, February 1st, night of the Grammys. And I'm a little shaken up because right before I got on the pod here, right before we started recording, Roy told me that in his opinion, Midnight Sun by Zara Larsson is quote unquote not that great of a song. Now, I don't know what to think about this, and I'm a little shaken up because by all standards, by all metrics, it's a great song. Roy, are you here to defend yourself?
It's just one of those songs I didn't get into, but I've given it a few. I think it's one of those songs that's going to grow on me.
Oh, here's the backtracking.
That's it. Yeah, and it's not really backtracking. I'm a notorious.
Once the cameras start rolling, he starts backtracking. No, I agree. What side of the debate are you on? Are you Team Roy and it's just okay, or are you Team Colton? It's a great pop song.
To be fair, I think it's going to be. I didn't get it at first, and it's going to grow on me. I think I need to listen to it in like a gym setting or something where I'm more in the mood for it.
For me, it's driving alone in a car. I could judge the value of a song by how singable it is in the car.
I agree with that. I don't have a car, so
I also don't have a car. This was back in the day. Yeah,
days.
now we're city boys. Speaking of city girls,
that was a good transition.
I just like Zara Larsson. She's just good. We can't get tickets. I mean, none of these things.
No, it's already sold out.
It's impossible these days to get tickets. I don't like feeling like I am going into battle when I'm trying to get tickets to a concert. I don't want to have to fight hand-to-hand combat to try to beat out people for tickets. And I'm not talking about floor seats. I'm not talking about seats in the pit. I'm talking about balcony seats. Why am I fighting? Why am I in the lottery? Why am I in a queue?
But that's okay, because what we do have tickets for is a TV screening of the Grammys tonight.
That's right. We have free tickets
from across the country in DC.
Right. Primetime viewing of the Grammys. And that's what we're going to be talking about. By the way, we are also on YouTube. So if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, feel free to go over to our YouTube channel, Check Your Ears Podcast, and we record the podcast and put up videos of each episode. So feel free to check us out there. But today's episode of Check Your Ears, we're going to do things a little differently. We're not going to do our weekly sound check. This episode, we're going to talk about the Grammys and our predictions for the Big Four. Roy, what's the Big Four?
The Big Four categories. So it includes Album of the Year, Song of the Year, Record of the Year, and Best New Artist. And what we're going to do is actually go through each of them and give our completely biased and non-professional opinions on who should win and who we think will win. And should we start with the biggest one? Album of the Year?
Let me say, you know why I think our opinion is more important? Because we're fans at the end of the day. We're just the fans. We're not experts. We're not industry insiders. We're listening like every Joe Schmo out there, or Josephine Schmo. And we, I don't know. So our opinion is probably similar to your opinion.
Or not. Also, the Grammys have notoriously been really weird in the past about who they choose to win. The Academy does not really have a predictable way of voting, so who knows. Having said that, let's start with the biggest one of the night, Album of the Year. Colton, who is your should win and will win?
Okay, this is a good one. I don't think it's going to come as a surprise. I think the best album this year is Lady Gaga's Mayhem. There are just so many great songs that I love to listen to. Again, like I said, I don't have a car, but if I did have a car, I would love driving in the summer with the windows down, listening to this album. I mean, think about Vanish Into You, Love Drug. Oh, Love Drug is so good. So there are so many songs. This album has a deep bench of really good pop anthems that are telling a cohesive story, which I think is important for me, and I think you as well. You like when the album tells the story. So
Yeah.
this for me is number one. It's gonna. I hope it wins. I think it will. Lady Gaga has that star power, but like you said, the Academy could be a little interesting in that they may not go with the obvious choice, because I think Mayhem is the obvious choice, but they might pull something out and try something wonky here.
So Mayhem is your should win and your will win.
Mayhem is my should win and will win. Who do you think should win album of the year?
My should win, I think, is Man's Best Friend by Sabrina Carpenter, which I think will take people by surprise. Because when that album came out,
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that album was critically acclaimed in the same way that maybe Short and Sweet was by Sabrina Carpenter. And actually, when I first heard it, I really didn't love it. And then I gave it a second listen, and then I gave it a third listen, and it's been one of those albums that I keep going back to over and over again, and every single time I like it more. And I think it's not that different from Short and Sweet sound-wise, but I think Sabrina really perfected what she was going for, which was this like blend of pop and country and disco together. And it works really well. And on top of that, like you just said, I love a good cohesive story. And this album is a breakup album through and through. And I think it is my album of the year personally. Now, that's who I think should win. I think what will win is Bad Bunny's album.
So you think DTMF is going to win?
He had a really big debut with DTMF. It really celebrates his Puerto Rican heritage. And I think on top of that, he obviously was announced as the Super Bowl halftime show. There's just been a lot of attention all the time over the last few months. And so I think if you're going in to vote, it kind of makes sense that he would be top of mind for you. So that's my best guess at who will win. But I really do think Band's Best Friend was album of the year for me.
That's interesting that you say that about the timing and his momentum that Bad Bunny has now going into the Super Bowl, because I think the same theory may work against Lady Gaga, because if we think about Mayhem is kind of old now. It's old news. The tour is sort of wrapping up. I mean, she's going on another leg because she added more dates like here in the springtime. She'll be coming to DC. She performed live at the VMAs. They cut to her Madison Square Garden performance to do that. So voters may be over that album now. They may have that in their mind when they go into vote as well.
Yeah, so here's my best guess, because I also think Mayhem is a great album. I think the Grammys will give Mayhem Best Pop Vocal Album and not Album of the Year.
Man's Best Friend, I think, will win that one, but we'll see. So, all right, what's next? What's next on the Big Four?
Record of the Year. Record of the Year celebrates a single record, i.e. song, and it includes sort of the entirety of the song. So the production, the audio engineering, the mixing, mastering, etc. So it's really the song together. And Record of the Year is, I think, has the potential to be a contentious one this year. So let's hear it, Colton. Your should and will win.
Should win Anxiety by Doechii. I love that song. That is a radio hit song. That's a song that you want to hear at the party. That's a song that you want to hear at the bar. It is an amazing song. I think the way it's mixed is amazing. I think the lyrics, which we'll get into later, are amazing. Just this record has it all from what you would want from a really, really great song. That should win. That being said, what I think will win is Manchild. They're going to give it to the pop girly who's having the moment. And
yeah. So I think should win Abracadabra, Lady Gaga. I think it's a great song. It's fun. It was huge. It sort of reintroduced, I feel like, the OG Lady Gaga sound and vibe back into pop culture. And it's just a great song. I feel like every time people hear that song, they want to dance. And it's well mixed, well produced. It's fun. So I think should win will be Abracadabra. I think will win is APT by Rosé and Bruno Mars. That song was just huge, and Bruno Mars is a Grammy darling. They
Yeah,
love him.
what
They
is
will
that
vote
about?
for him. I don't know. I personally don't see it. Just my opinion. Don't come for me if you're a Bruno fan.
No, and the
But
thing
they
is that
love him, and the song was huge. So I really do think that APT is going to get it.
I am a Bruno fan as much as anyone, any average fan could be a Bruno fan, but they love him. He is. I don't know where he finds all of this success, but he is like. Didn't you say one time it was like we were talking about this a couple weeks ago? He's one of the top streamed people. Like that blows my mind. Not because he's not great and he doesn't deserve it or whatever, but he doesn't. When you think of who's going to be the one of the top streamed artists, Bruno Mars does not come to my mind. But then again, he did the Super Bowl. He's got a lot, a deep bench of discography. So I don't know, but that surprises me. But I agree with you. I think he will win. He is a Grammy's darling.
Yeah. We'll see. I also would not be shocked if they gave Rose and Bruno best pop duo song as well for APT.
That's also my problem with the Grammys.
And maybe shut them out from Record of the Year. I could also see that happening, but honestly, I think they're going to get Record of the Year.
I'm already starting to get annoyed because you're reading all these categories of where it's like, well, if you don't win that, they can win this. They could win best pop triplets who do,
well, they have a lot of
who do a country song. It's just like, we don't need all these categories now.
Most of it is just performances. So,
well, they're trying to steal the VMA's thunder. Yeah, which is good for us.
Okay, next one, Song of the Year. Difference between Record of the Year and Song of the Year is that Song of the Year is only a songwriter's award. So who's your should and will win?
Anxiety. The lyrics are amazing. It's so good. Anxiety needs to win this category. Now, who I think will win? Golden. Will I be disappointed if Golden wins? Absolutely not, because I love Golden. But are we having that same thing where K-pop Demon Hunters has been out so long now it's kind of lost its charm? I mean, Anxiety's been out forever too, so
yeah.
I don't know. I think it will be one of these two for sure. I'd like to see Anxiety come away with it. It would be. I know this is a hard one because I'd be happy and I will sleep well tonight knowing Anxiety or Golden won.
Well, hopefully we don't lose sleep over the Grammys that we have.
You never know. I've lost sleep
over
nothing
to do with it. Interesting. Okay, so my should win on this one, not shocking, is Man-Child by Sabrina Carpenter. I think it's such a funny, witty song. And it's kind of Sabrina's songwriting at her best, I think. It's like, yeah, it's a little sarcastic, it's a little mean, but also has this like sort of like wink wink vibe to it where it's like, I'm just kidding. And I think the song tells a really good story. So I think Man-Child should win it. Who I think will win? Golden. I think it's so obvious. Like it was written for a movie. The Grammys like awarding this category to other movie soundtracks. They awarded it to Billie Eilish for Barbie. So I think it's going to be Golden, but I do think Man-Child deserves it.
We're going up, up, up. It's our moment. And I've always felt that. Yeah. The last category we're going to talk about.
This is a controversial one.
This is a controversial one. Best New Artist. I think it should be Olivia Dean. Olivia Dean is having her moment right now, right? This is her big, big moment. Man I Need is, everyone's streaming it, everyone's listening to it. I think when she performs live, when she did Jimmy Fallon, when she did SNL, I believe as well. She's singing live. She's just got raw talent. Okay, so my should win Olivia Dean 100%. Who will win? Addison Rae. Here's my thing about this. Addison Rae, to me, is not a new artist. Addison Rae has been around the block. Addison Rae has been putting out music for many years now. Just because she's becoming popular right now doesn't necessarily mean to me. I think last year, Best New Artist. Why this year?
Well, her album came out in June of last year, so it's in the like Grammy timing. But Best New Artist.
But Diet Pepsi came out in 2024.
Right, but it doesn't. So Best New Artist is actually a very I don't know exactly the definition of how they define when someone can be a best new
Well, I
artist.
don't like the definition. I don't like
Because
the
there's
definition,
people who've been
whatever it
around
is.
for years. Like Chapel Roan was nominated for Best New Artist last year, and Chapel Roan had been around for like a decade. So the
but she was
definition of Best New
around
Artist is
for
very.
okay.
I mean,
Chapel
she'd been
Roan,
singing for a really long time.
yeah, to
So,
crowds of 5 people at the state fair.
but it doesn't matter. Like the thing is with Best New Artist, it really is more of just like, when did you get your big moment, I think, and it's super subjective.
I think last year was her year for this award. Shout out Margaret. I know she was Diet Pepsi and Addison Rae. Olivia Dean is on the up. She's having her momentum moment. Give it to her this year.
Interesting. I actually have the complete opposite ratings of you on this one. I think
Shocking.
Addison Rae should win. I think she had a pretty breakout year with her self-titled album, Addison. I think it's kind of a weird album. She did something unique. She did something that was really captivating. And honestly, if you told me 5 years ago when I first was like getting into TikTok during COVID that Addison Rae would be performing and nominated at the Grammys, I would have laughed in your face. I mean, she was one of the OG like hype house TikTokers in LA. Crazy. I think it's a really good album, and it's something that I was not expecting from her. And so I think for
So
someone
you are
who
captivated by Addison Rae.
I am captive because I think she's kind of a personality, and I don't know, I'm just really interested in her as like a
Person.
an artist.
Performer. Artist.
Like persona
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for. Like I'm
Well, you
interested
saw her
in
live.
her as the persona. I did in DC, and I mean, she doesn't have powerhouse vocals. Like you're not listening to Whitney Houston, you know, but you're like, this show is kind of fun, and she like performs, and I don't know. I think she should win. I think she worked really hard on this album and had a very clear vision for it, and it succeeded. I think she should win. I think who will win is Olivia Dean. I think Olivia Dean has a great voice, is talented, is obviously having a moment right now with Man I Need and a couple of other songs. So I think the Grammys will award her.
I disagree. I think she was the best new artist last year, and that's
which is a wild take because then
it's
by that definition
based.
by that definition, anytime someone puts out a song, they have to be eligible for Best New Artist in that specific moment.
No. I said anytime they become popular. She was popular in 2024 for being an artist. You like to say artist. If you're listening, and by the time you hear this, we're putting this episode out tonight, but by the time you hear this, you may have already watched the Grammys. Tell us in the comments who should have won. Do you disagree with what they're going to do tonight? Let us know. We want to hear what you think. Do you think Roy's right? Do you think I'm right? Do you think you're right? Are we all wrong? Let us know.
We're probably all going to be wrong.
We're probably all going to be wrong.
Okay, so today's podcast, we're finally getting into it because I have wanted to talk about this album since 2024. I said this summer 2024 that XOXO by Camila Cabello was a completely misunderstood album and way ahead of its time.
And I know what you're thinking. I know what everyone's thinking. They're thinking, Camila Cabello. Keep listening. This album is amazing. I was a truther. I didn't I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it until I really got into this album.
So let's get into it. So XOXO came out in June 2024. So it's been almost 2 years. We're nearing that. But it is an album that I think finally is having its moment, and people are finally appreciating for what it is. And so today we're going to take a bit of time to talk through the album, why it was misunderstood, why it's actually an amazing album and you should give it a listen and give it a chance. And then 2, talk a little bit about the very short-lived tour that followed it, which also kind of a great tour and show, but very short. And we'll talk about that.
So last week's episode, I talked about how timing of an album release is really important, I think, to its success. But this album might provide some evidence of the contrary, because this came out June 28th, 2024, but it's now kind of having a resurgence. It's now finding its groove. So does that mean timing is less important with a pop album?
I think it just means that, this is my take. You can feel free to disagree. I think it means that when an artist does something that they truly believe in, even if it's kind of weird and against the grain, eventually it will pay off. It may not pay off in the moment. It may not be what culture is looking for at the time or what listeners are looking for at the time. But eventually, I am a firm believer that if you truly want to do what you are into and what you're interested in, the public will value it eventually. That is my take. And I think that's what happened with XOXO.
Now, this was kind of an interesting album release for Camila because this was her first album to come out after leaving Epic Records, leaving her old label in 2022 and moving to Interscope Records. Now, there was no public fallout or no real reasoning for what she framed it around just kind of a strategic reset. She wants to put out the music she wants to do and kind of wanted to align with more of the leading pop acts. And I think moving to Interscope is sort of a move that aligns with that theory. But of course, whenever somebody leaves an album, there's always that drama or that question, that theory, oh, was she dropped? Was she dropped from the label? Did she get fired or something like that? Were they not happy with the album that she was presenting to make or something like that? Here, I don't think that's true. I really do think that the move was to probably give her a little bit more artistic autonomy with the albums that she wanted to make, or with this album specifically, because it does deviate a little bit from what she was making previously. Now, the album that came out that we're about to talk about, XOXO, didn't land as a major pop album in the way that some of the other, the Lady Gagas land. But I think it was a good move at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why she moved, obviously, but
yeah, it's all speculation.
Interscope probably brings bigger budgets, more access to producers or industry insiders that she may have wanted to connect with. So I'm sure there were a lot of reasons, but I also think for better or for worse, they let her put out this very different album for who she was and what she had done up until that moment.
And she said that it was important to her to be able to make the type of album that felt right for her and to do what made her happy. So if maybe that's what Interscope was offering. Said, hey, listen, you come here and you make the album you want to make. And as someone, that's got to be incredibly attractive to any artist.
Totally. I also think this album was kind of scarred by some drama during its pre-release. Her first lead single off the album, I Love It, featuring Playboy Cardi, as soon as it dropped, actually even before it dropped, when she was releasing some snippets here and there, the comparison started with Charli XCX's Brat. Everyone...
Yeah, if you think about at the time that it was actually not even Brat, but a specific song. What was it called? I Got It?
I Got It.
Yeah. And now, for those of you who have not heard, I Love It goes, I love it, I love it, I love it. And I Got It basically says, I got it, I got it, I got it. So I can see the similarities, but there is a big difference and an important one between two songs sound similar and Camila Cabello is clout chasing or is trying to feed off of Brat momentum. I don't think that's what happened here at all. People are criticizing Camila of this album leaning into hyper pop, which is like a subgenre of pop with very auto-tune and sort of electronic sounds. Two artists can make hyper pop, or two artists can use auto-tune.
Yeah. And this album actually, once it came out and you listen to the full thing, it was anything but pure hyper pop. Sure, there were influences here and there, primarily on I Love It. But beyond that, I mean, the album really delivers what Camila was saying it was going to deliver, which was a love letter to Miami. The entire album is centered on this very weird spring breaker-ish, if you've seen the movie, you know, Miami experience, and all through the lens of what I think is a breakup that she's talking about and really trying to distract herself in the midst of this very chaotic and loud and bright city. And that's what I got from the album. And so the fact that it was misunderstood as this copy and paste of what Charlie XCX had done so many times before and really perfected with Brat, I think was just a miss on the public's part. And it completely destroyed the rollout of this album. Like, no one wanted to listen to it, which is really sad because it's a great album.
It is a great album, and people like to be critical and to make unfair comparisons when there really isn't there. Yes, both albums have a song where they repeat the same lyric over and over again in a way that's kind of techno with autotune or whatever. That's fine. But there's so much to XOXO that doesn't sound like anything that Charlie would put out. There is a range of different types of songs. And I mean, there is a rap song with the City Girls that turns into a ballad with a deep, haunting piano riff through the middle of it. It's an album that gives you what you would want out of a top pop album, but with a nostalgia for Miami. You're right about that, because I've only been to Miami one time, but listening to this album, it's like, wait, I want to go back. I want to go hear this. I want to go hear this in Miami. I want to be on the beach and listening to this album. I want to be on Collins. I want to be on Biscayne. I want to do all that she talks about. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I felt like I was like one soldier, like going against like a 10,000 person army when I was defending this album.
Roy was fighting in 2024
because you couldn't have said it better. I mean, I can go on and on about how this album really encapsulates the sadness and regret and confusion of life after something painful, in this case, a breakup.
Yeah, but in the midst this is a breakup album.
Yeah,
this is a breakup album
it is.
In a way that harkens back to Miami. Like, she is finding love in Miami after a breakup. There's a undercurrent of sadness, unfortunately, through the whole album, but it all lends to this like kind of moving on spirit, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a perfect album. Like, there are some songs I personally would have cut from the OG and added some of the deluxe tracks on. Primarily, I would add Baby Pink and Godspeed. I think those are two amazing songs into the original, and probably cut the Drake songs.
And I also would have cut 20 Somethings.
Oh, I love 20 Somethings. I think that song is so good. But anyway, I completely agree. I think if you haven't listened to this album, give Dade County Dreaming a listen. Give Boat a listen.
Boat is amazing.
It's a weird song. I mean, it's a piano ballad that interpolates Pitbull's Hotel Motel Holiday Inn.
So good. But like with a pared down sample of it.
Just with the synth?
Just like synth, yeah. Oh, it's really so good. It's really, really good.
And then you have, I think, the end of the original release, June Gloom, which I think is an amazing song. That's really about her. Like, the album ends with this very sad ballady song about her just sort of like missing, I assume it's Shawn Mendes, but I don't know for sure. And trying
it's
to
a hypothesis.
Right. And trying to rekindle that relationship, but knowing that it's completely the wrong decision. And that's where the album leaves off. That is so genius to me because it's entirely so human. There is no really big like resolution on it. Like, basically she just goes through this album like kind of partying in Miami, having all these thoughts of regret and sadness, and, you know, going out with her what she calls like XOXO girls. And then at the end, she's just kind of like, and we might get back together, even though I know it's like not the right thing for me. Like, that is genius storytelling, in my opinion. And that is why this album is album of the year 2024.
Period. But also, I think that also
I rest my case.
What I think also makes this album kind of relatable is what you just said. You know, I might get back together with him when I know I shouldn't, right? How many people have lived through that experience in their own relationships or something? So I think that's it's telling a relatable story, having love for the place that you grow up. So there is a lot to chew on with the album, and there's a lot that makes it valuable as an album. That being said, we talked about it not being a huge commercial success, but the numbers were not horrible. I mean, it debuted at number 13 on the Billboard 200, 36.5 thousand units sold. I mean, it was her worst album debut, but that's not horrible, right? It's not like it wasn't a complete flop. Pitchfork score 6.9 out of 10.
Which
It
for
acknowledged
Pitchfork,
strong.
not bad.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Like
because Pitchfork knows what they're talking about. Shout out
they're a
Pitchfork. No, I don't know.
hard critic usually.
But acknowledged strong sonic ideas while questioning execution. A lot of the questioning of the execution is focused on the cohesion that we're talking about,
Right.
which I think in some senses I like. I love when there's a cohesive story. I love when there's a cohesive sound. We talked last week about Doja Cat and V, how that all fits together. It's all very 80s sounding. But this has a bunch of different little sounds to it that I think that all add up together to tell one cohesive story. But I don't think every song necessarily needs to sound the same. So sometimes people are overly critical in that sense.
Yeah. I think honestly, maybe what it is that what I actually think is a pro of the album, which is like this very funky mixing of like ballads with synths and auto tune and electronic sounds and stuff. Maybe that's what they mean. I don't know, but I think that's actually a very big strength of the album, because again, it paints this like sonic landscape of Miami, and to me, like that's kind of what when I think of Miami, I think of like big synths and colorful things and bright sounds and big sounds, and I think that's what this album goes for. So again,
Yeah.
I'm probably repeating myself here, but it wasn't perceived poorly, I don't think, by the critics. I do think by the public it was kind of dragged. I mean, people did not like this album when it came out.
Yeah. And Camilla actually said she kind of stepped away from social media and online presence because it did impact her mental health, which is unfortunate because it was all fed into by kind of this Charlie XCX online fandom, which is unfair. I think it received unfair criticism, saying that she's clout chasing, doing the hyper pop chasing, which again, Charlie XCX did not invent autotune, right? That being said, Camilla can really sing. I criticize the level, the level and the extent she used autotune on the album because she has the vocals that could have just lived on the album authentically. And
She
I
has
think we
awesome
see that on
vocals.
the tour.
Yeah, so maybe let's talk about the tour.
Yeah, let's transition to the tour. Again, this is a tour first podcast. As we say, talking about the tour last.
Camilla had kind of a weird tour with this one, though, because she actually had one tiny tour in 2024 that was mostly festivals. She performed at Glastonbury. She performed in Rock in Rio and Lisbon. She did a bunch of other festivals. And for this first half of the tour, it was still very much focused on this like weird XOXO world. I mean, she had like a weird pool thing on stage. She had a merry-go-round. Wait, not merry-go-round. What's the thing called where you like spin on a playground? Is that a merry-go-round?
No, merry-go-round is a carousel.
Yeah, that's what.
You mean one of the things with the bars and it kind of spins around. I don't know if there's a name for that.
Yeah, a bunch of like robotic dogs. I don't know. It was a weird tour, but I think
she had those like Boston Dynamics robotics tours where we're holding cameras.
Yeah, and they would to walk on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. It was cool. I mean, but it was, again, a weird tour. And I think it was interesting because in the time that this album came out, it was obviously not being received amazing by the public. And then this really strange tour comes out and she's singing a lot of the songs that no one knew because the album had just dropped and it wasn't really being streamed that much. And so, I don't know, that first half of the tour was just strange. But then she does the official tour, which started last year.
Yeah, so that ran June 28th through September 14th. Again, pretty short. It's not what you would think for, a worldwide tour. There's only 17 shows, no shows in North America.
Why do you think that's because the album did not perform here?
I think so. I don't see another reason why she wouldn't. Like, why wouldn't there be a Miami stop? Why wouldn't there be a really pared down? I mean, this is a pared down world tour. So why not do a pared down North American tour in the cities where she knows that she can pull fans? But I think maybe she was saving up to do another round.
Maybe.
another North American leg. I don't see a reason why she wouldn't do any stops in the US. That seems crazy to me.
Yeah, and I assume that her fans were pretty disappointed in that. I mean, I was disappointed because I would have totally gone to see a tour inspired by CXOXO.
But she
So it
also
was
was
sad.
dipping her toes back into touring because she took about 7 years off since her previous tour. She toured in
Yeah.
2018, 2019, and then took a lot of years off. She's, said that touring was tough on her mental health and it takes a lot out of you. But then, she came out and did this tour and said, actually, it felt great. It was great to be back with the fans and how close she got with her crew and everything like that. So maybe we could expect more tours going forward. But yeah, I was surprised about no US dates.
Yeah.
So the stage was designed by Stu Fish, which is a really popular stage design and management company. Roy loves them because they produced Lana's tour as
And they
well.
did a good job.
And they did a good job. They made that Bayou house amazing.
Yeah.
But so the visuals and the tour design centers on a large cube in the center of the stage that uses tile and scrim to create projection mapping at the beginning of the show at the top in the middle, and starts the show up there. And then as the show goes on, elements of the cube start breaking down and you see it turn into a sort of a different form of set piece. You're able to climb inside of it. It serves as sort of a dollhouse for her. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of on the Mayhem tour when Lady Gaga has that really large kind of
The cage.
cylindrical cage that's first covered up, but then it has very similar elements that the dancers are able to go into. She's able to climb into, but it provides like a solid visual element that we could track throughout the show. And the use of projection mapping, Roy loves visuals. So he loved this, the ability to project onto it.
Yeah. And I think the production of the show was really cool. The stage design I thought was really unique. But honestly, I think what I love the most is that she had a full live band for this second leg of the CXOXO era of touring, I guess you could say. Whereas in the first she didn't. And I think the songs just sounded really good with a live band, especially some of the ones from CXOXO, like June Gloom, Boat. She like actually just plays the piano, and it's just a very like intimate moment with her on the piano. Dade County Dreaming with the live band is really cool because it just adds another sort of dimension to the song. She's a good performer. Like, he is very good live.
Great. Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Stu Fish, the stage designer, described the design for this tour as the following. The stage design for the Yours See tour reflects Camila Cabello's artistic evolution across her 4 solo albums. What was that?
They're collecting all the snow, frozen ice blocks outside and putting them in a truck.
Great. The concept centers on intimacy, inviting fans into her world in a way she never has before. So, I think that shows. I think it's like, it does feel intimate in the sense that like we're coming into her, like they've created this cube to be like where the crowd gets welcomed into. And I think that is like a really cool element.
Okay, so she finishes this tour. The album is having a bit of a renaissance, you could say, through TikTok world. Where do you think she goes next? Do you think she's jumping into a new album? Do you think she maybe goes back to touring more? Do you think she's just kind of like done for a bit and is taking a break? Curious for your thoughts.
Well, now I think she's emotionally scarred after what everybody put her through. I mean, she made an album that's really good. She made an album that was what she wanted to make, and the certain subset of the internet said that they didn't like it and she was copying.
Yeah.
So I would take some time. But what I hope she does is that I hope she continues to make the music that she wants to make and be authentic to herself. I would rather have more artists do what they want to do and make authentic albums versus do everybody does the same kind of pop album and makes generic music that there's one hit single from and then we move on. She is a powerful singer and performer. Make the album you want to make. Please tour in the US and we'll see what's next, but that's where I hope she goes.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think she's probably going to release another album soon, and I think and hope that she was not scarred enough by this experience that she doesn't do exactly what you said, and she does go back to more of a pop sound and basic album rollout and basic album. Like, that's what I don't want her to do. And to be honest, I don't really get the sense that she is, because I think, I'm not speaking from experience because I'm not an artist, but I assume that there's a sense of artistic freedom that comes with putting out a body of work that is authentically yours and is something that you're really proud of. And yeah, it might not be the biggest album of the year, or it might not get all of its flowers immediately, but I do feel like there's a level of satisfaction that comes with putting out something that you're just really into, that's honestly arguably better than putting out an album that gets number one immediately and has a big single, but yet it doesn't really live on. And ideally, you want both to happen, and it didn't. But I hope that she actually just takes that and comes out with a body of work that just kind of hones what she was already doing in XOXO. Because like I said, it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty close. And so I'm confident in this next one.
But I think that makes a point. Not every artist needs to be the biggest artist on the planet. Not every artist needs to be selling out stadiums. Not every artist needs to have a number one album that lives at number one for 10 weeks. She had 82,000 people attend her festival performance. Like, that's an enormous amount of people. She can continue to be successful and make the music she wants to make without leaning back into the basic pop. She had great pop songs, but put out the album you want to put out. People are still going to like it. The real fans will like it.
Right.
Roy Masha will like it. Roy Masha will go to your tour if you come to the US.
So Camila, if you're listening to this album,
we stand with you. Do what you want. Make the songs you want to make.
Okay, right. So that was XOXO.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, every week we ask each other what's in our ears, what are we listening to at the moment, what can't we stop listening to? So this week for me, new album by Swedish singer Agnes came out, I think January 23rd. So brand new. There's a song on there called Love Songs, which I cannot get out of my head. It's a great song and multiple layers of harmonies in it. It's just very powerful vocally, and just one of those really good songs you want to belt. So I would tune in, stream that album. So Roy, what's been in your ears this week?
I mean, mine's going to be a little bit more basic, but I went back to a lot of the Grammy albums this week, and the one song that I've not been able to stop listening to is "Manchild" by Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know why. It's been on repeat. I know it's basic. I know it's been out there for almost a year at this point, but it was what was in my ears.
It's good. You want to give us a couple notes?
No, because you didn't give any notes.
You didn't ask.
Right.
It's opinions based.
But anyway, on the next episode, we're going to actually go through our favorite Grammy performances. So hopefully we'll be filming that in the next 24 hours or so. And we'll see how these performances are, and also how close we were to actually predicting who was going to win those big four categories.
Yeah, we give our predictions. We'll see how it lines up. But I'm excited to see the performers. I mean, Lady Gaga is going to perform. Sabrina Carpenter is going to perform. Post Malone is performing. Somber. We're getting Alex Warren. So we're getting a lot of really big performances. So we're going to talk through what we liked, what we didn't like. So we hope you tune in for that. And that'll be hopefully coming up Tuesday, posted Tuesday.
Awesome.
All right. Feel free to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Check Your Ears Pod. And we also have a YouTube channel, Check Your Ears Podcast. So where we'll post all the videos of these episodes. So we hope to see you next time, and talk to you soon.